Michigan State plays Southern Indiana tomorrow. More importantly to me than the game tomorrow is Tom Izzo had another press conference. Sorry, like I feel like Michigan State fans are just going to be annoyed with the way I'm setting this up right now. So I don't mean this from like a trolley perspective whatsoever, but Izzo is just saying some fascinating things right now. He's really like, if this was a game of poker, he's really like aggressively over the top, showing everyone that he's bluffing. Like he's sitting at the table like, I got aces. I have the aces. I will play aces, everyone. And then it's like time to show the cards, and he's holding like a 7-6, and he just keeps going back to the 7-6. He's adamant that there's going to be changes. He said, I think the exact quote was controversy, right? He said, "Get ready for controversy."
Yes.
He asked a reporter basically like, "Oh yeah, I have to show who my starters are, what my players are 3 hours before game time for the gamblers, right? Well, I don't have to show them how many minutes they're going to play," which is obviously a playful jab implying that there could be changes to his rotation, whether that's starting lineup or whether that's who's going to play where. Sheehan had a good tweet, like, "Get ready for 30 Nick Sanders minutes tonight." So
Can I give the exact controversy tweet?
yeah, please.
Or the comment by Izzo. It was, "I don't know why 3 juniors and seniors didn't play well, but I don't care. I'll play some freshmen. Let the controversy begin."
Let the controversy begin. I'll play freshmen. Let the controversy begin. Let it begin, right?
I will name my firstborn controversy. Give me controversy. I want controversy. Controversy, maybe, just maybe, might get us to the places and the levels that we want to go. Controversy might prove the Associated Press right. Controversy might have us winning games against James Madison at home. So let's give controversy a go.
This might be a little controversial, but I would be careful being the Michigan State head coach and running around saying, "Let the controversy start." Like we don't want that. We don't want any more controversy from anyone.
Very true. Very
However,
true. Did not think about that.
In this setting, we do want controversy from you, Tom, from your little game where you're just bluffing that you're going to play your talented freshman. Like, oh man. Is it time for my Izzo rant? Is it time for the first one of the year? I haven't had one in a while. I was pretty praiseworthy after the loss.
Talk about it. Hold on, Greg. Is it time for my first one of the year? It's one game in.
So does that mean I shouldn't do it yet? I got to wait?
No, I know you can do it. Let's just not act like you've been holding off or something.
It's been a while. I don't think I ranted much. Like the way the season ended last year and the offseason, like I really haven't said Izzo's done anything wrong in a while.
Yeah, true. Okay. Oh, yeah. No, you did. You said you actually gave him his flowers for like the summer that he had and everything.
And the losses thus far, like when people are trying to pin it on coaching right now, I'm like, it's not coaching. Like I don't really have any of that.
Please.
Here's my first Izzo critique in quite a while. The man's just lying. He's lying to all of you. And I don't think you guys are like in general dumb. Like I think you guys are a pretty smart fan base for the most part. Like obviously every fan base has its crazy people, but like you guys can tell when things are wrong usually when it comes to Michigan State basketball. You've been around the block. You've seen a lot of things and you're an educated fan base that knows how to win. This guy's just straight up lying. Like why first of all, he's pretending he has all this intent to play guys that he clearly doesn't. He already has done this. He did this about Booker earlier this week. He said he was going to play him more than 8 minutes. He pinned it on missing a shoot around, and then he played him less minutes. That was a lie, and it happened. And he's also just lying if he's acting like Jeremy Fears is going to seriously eat away at minutes. Like, oh, you made all these promises to get Jaden Akins back. You're not going to play him through mistakes? Really? That's what we're going to do? Like, you can't have it both ways. You can't like do all these things to get guys back and then also immediately like call them out and tell Tyson Walker he played bad. You might bench him for Trey Holloman. Like none of this makes sense. And my larger issue than just the fact that I think he is being deceitful in pretending he wants to play these guys is he's making it out like this is some crazy thing Why is it controversy to play McDonald's All-Americans? Like you are the coach at one of the best programs in the country. You just signed the second best recruiting class in the country on paper, according to people. This recruiting class is awesome. Everybody knows it. It's not controversial to play those guys. Like it's, and I don't know if,
well, no, it is.
in what world, like in his weird
It is.
little Upper Peninsula
No,
world.
no. In the world that every Michigan fan is not the same. Every Michigan State fan is not the same. If there is a contingency of the fan base that might get upset if Xavier Booker plays more minutes than Malik Hall, there is a contingent of the fan base that believes that. Can't make everybody happy.
Okay. One, can't they both play? Can't they just both play? Couldn't we timeshare it the way they did with center last year?
Right. But like also this, like, Greg, what are we doing? Like, what are we actually doing here though? Like first of all, what coach doesn't lie? And two, like we know who we're talking about here is Tom Izzo. Is Tom Izzo in November, from November to January, that man low-key cannot be held liable for anything involving rotations or players on the team. He is just a different breed with the way he does things. And I honestly chose my mental health and mental well-being and stepped away from it and said, he's just going to do this from November to January. And then I can really blow a gasket about it if it's going deep into like February or something like that. But this is just who this man is. He's not all there sometimes in a good way, I guess I would say. Like he's like I don't know what the word would be, like an enigma or something like that. Like he just has his way of doing things, and I don't really see it changing, to be honest. So I don't know.
It's fine. I just like I don't think we need to act like it would be like pulling off a heist to play Xavier Booker 15 minutes in a game. That's what he's doing, right? Like
it wouldn't. And also saying it before this game too. Like I just want to be unequivocally clear that the team we're about to play is one of the worst teams in the country.
Yes. Yeah, which again, not controversial to like play Tyson Walker when he's hurt less than 35 minutes. That's not controversy. That's just what a good coach would do.
I would sit Tyson Walker in this game.
I don't know.
If he's hurt, actually, if he's not feeling 100%, I would sit him.
Yeah. I'm very curious how many minutes he plays for sure. That's at the top of my list of things I'm curious about. All right, call your shot. How many combined minutes do Cohen Carr, Xavier Booker, and Jeremy Fears play in this game?
I think they all play at least 15 minutes.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I'm having a hard time with Fears and Booker with that. Like, isn't it? I guess Fears was at 12 last game, but like, I don't know. That
I mean,
like
Carr was already there, right?
Yeah.
Fears has to play just a couple more minutes in a game that will probably be a blowout. And then Booker, I think he's just gonna have a good chance to get minutes in this game because of the opponent just itself, honestly, just because of the opponent.
Okay. All right. What do you want to see? Because we don't need to just sit here and talk about his quotes in the press conference, even though I thought it was hilarious. What do you want to see? This is Southern Indiana. It's one of the worst teams in the country. You said it yourself. What's the one thing you're looking for most from Michigan State?
Okay. Why I come up with this? Can you also give me a quick KenPom ranking on this team? Love KenPom rankings now.
Do you care about KenPom now?
I care about KenPom rankings. I've turned the corner. I love them.
Selective KenPom is crazy. All right, since you love them so much, your team's not ranked. Your team is 26th in the country.
Nice. That sounds about right.
What do you want to see?
Call me selective analytics.
They are 333rd in the country.
Ooh,
they just lost a road game at St. Louis by only 12 points.
Really? And I actually think St. Louis is pretty good. So that's saying something. I'm stealing this from you. I want to see the vets respond. I want to see them respond, but I'm also not as concerned about the response because part of the vets' response to me is that when the going gets tough, how do they respond? Like that's always been the thing for me with AJ Hoggard in particular. When things aren't going well, I just think he kind of crumbles in those situations when things are going great and he's talking shit and he's making passes and he's slapping the floor and he's got the crowd involved. Everything is gravy. But like it can't be that way. If you're going to be the leader of this basketball team, you're going to be the point guard of this basketball team. That just can't happen. It just is what it is. Whether he wants that responsibility or not, that just is what it is. And outside of that, the easy thing I want to see the young guys play. And I'd like to actually see the young guys play together. And I don't know if that's going to happen necessarily. I do think they're going to get their minutes, like I just stated. But I would also like to see what it looks like together. In more like specifics, I'd like to see, honestly, I'd like to see Tyson, Jeremy Fears, Jaden, Carr, Booker. I'd like to see what that looks like. And then when you bring in the subs to that, I'd like to move Booker to the 4, maybe put Carson Cooper at the 5, leave Jeremy Fears and Colin Carr in there too. I want to see what that looks like as well. But I just want those guys to get their minutes.
Okay. So, you know how obviously I'm a body language PhD, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I've ever told you this or not, but did you know that while I was studying to get my body language PhD, did you know that I also have a master's in coaching psychology?
I did not know.
So I'd like to just peek behind the curtain of my coaching psychology hat for a little moment here. I'm Tom Izzo. Who do I think is the most important half of this team to win a national title? Do I think it's my freshmen or do I think it's my veterans?
Am I in Izzo shoes?
What does Tom Izzo think? I'm Tom Izzo in this exercise, but I know what Tom Izzo thinks the answer to that question is. It's either the freshmen or the vets.
I think Izzo thinks it's his vets.
Izzo does think it's his vets, right? Okay, so walk me through this. Tom Izzo believes that the veterans are the key to winning a national championship on this team. Tom Izzo's approach to getting his veterans going this week has been to threaten them publicly, to say they played bad, to
state facts.
Well, they did. Tyson, I don't think Tyson was awful, and he was pretty pointed. The point is, I'm not trying to bash Izzo for what he's doing. I'm just saying, like, he's basically thrown his veterans under the bus this week. Is that fair to say? Mm-hmm. He's done that.
Sure.
I'm Tom Izzo, though. I'm one step ahead of everybody else. Everybody else is focusing on the fact that he's doing that. Tom's already one step ahead because he has two options in this game, right? Against one of the worst teams in the country. He can either play all the freshmen, huge minutes, or he can play all his veterans, huge minutes, the way he has been. Let's go down the path of both. What happens if he does each one? Again, his goal is to prioritize his vets because they're the key to winning a national title, right? Like he needs the vets are the important piece of this to him. If he plays all his freshmen in this game against one of the worst teams in the country, if Fears, Booker, and Carr get 25 minutes each, and Michigan State looks great, what does that do?
Truthfully, I think that lets him know that those guys should get some minutes.
It does. It also could be said, theoretically, it lights a fire under the vets. However, it exposes him to massive risk of his entire fan base and all his media and everyone in the world now coming out and saying all season long, we're better with the rookies. We're better with the freshmen, which is not what Tom Izzo believes. It's not what he wants anyone to believe. He wants his vets to be this team.
Okay, but what if we actually are better with the young guys?
You might be. And I think the interesting thing will be you have 5 months, right? He doesn't need to have this formula figured out today. He doesn't. It doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. He just needs to get the right puzzle pieces on the court when you're in a one-possession game in the Sweet 16 in March. Mm-hmm. But I'm approaching it like Tom has one of two paths to choose. Either he can play the freshmen, they look great, they win this game by 40, and then everyone around the Michigan State program is going to be like, we need more of that all season long. It's going to annoy the shit out of him. Or he can just play the vets how he's been playing them, get a 35-point win with the vets, hopefully get them some confidence back, because right now Malik Hall and AJ Hoggard look totally shattered without all of that, right? Like, it would get the fan base to reinforce in everybody's mind, oh yeah, our vets are good. which is kind of neat because even people who love this team and believe in the vets right now are like, Malik Hall stinks. Malik Sissoko stinks. This team stinks. So I think like this is a prediction. I could be wrong, but I think like as much as Tom Izzo publicly right now is throwing his vets under the bus, I think he knows deep down how critical it is to like make sure they look good in this game. And they can't do it from the bench.
Actually, okay, counterpoint to this. And let me know if you're willing to meet me halfway on this. Madi and Malik will look better with reduced minutes. Like there won't be as much pressure on them because right now everything they do is kind of under a microscope with how they've been playing because they've been playing so bad. If the freshmen play well, that takes pressure off of his vets.
Yeah. I mean, I can buy that. I can buy it. Because
I actually came to this episode wanting to actually make this point, and it kind of just was centered around what I just said. I am not of the camp where I think some people have gone so far left to like Malik shouldn't play. Malik should play on this basketball team. Like, let's not get it twisted. I'm not saying that he should play major minutes or something like that. Malik Hall should have a role on this team. I think the role should be reduced because you have other guys that could help him, or I don't know, kind of help him. Because right now I think he's broken. And I don't think force feeding him 30 minutes a game is going to unbreak him. I think he needs to take a step back. And I also think the makeup of Malik Hall and Mady Sissoko, as far as like their role in the team, who they are as players, I don't think that their minutes getting reduced would necessarily like sour on them. Like I would be worried if AJ got his minutes cut because he would throw a hissy fit. I don't think Malik and Mady would. So I think honestly, I think it's a little bit easy. It's a kind of a layup for Izzo in this case because he can cut their minutes and play the young guys without upsetting the vets' minutes that he's cutting. Like it seems pretty simple to me.
I hear you. The only thing I would push back, I don't know. Yes, Malik Hall should play. I don't think he deserves anything more than like Brandon John's minutes right now. And you can define that however you want.
I need you to define that for me, minutes wise.
The only time Brandon Johns was ever useful in his basketball career was when he was playing like 8 minutes a game. That's it.
You think who's playing in front of him in those livers? I mean,
good players, but come on. Like there's good players in the Michigan State front court. Cohen Carr should play 32 minutes in games that matter. He's that good.
Oh, yeah, I agree with that. No, I know what you're saying. I consider like 8 to 10 minutes a game a role on a team.
Okay. I feel like most people would be like a role is like 20 minutes off the bench.
No, okay, no.
But that would still be a step down, right? Like he's been. I mean, I know he's been playing 20 minutes.
He's been damn near 30 minutes a game.
Right, but so that step one would be like come off the bench and play 20 minutes. Then maybe step two by March is even less.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. All right.
And the pitch there is like things are going well. Like we're winning. We're playing well. Like you could be a part of it in a lesser role, but like, you know, you could be a part of it. And like, let's say we start winning and all these things are going well. And like in the eyes of Michigan State's fan base, like he would become way more endeared, I think, than he is now.
Maybe
like the narrative would be Malik Hall takes a step back to let the other players flourish, but still contributes when he can. Like that would be the narrative.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. All right. I've had my head still in Tom Izzo mode ever since I did that exercise. I'm terrified right now. Honestly, like I'm about to start playing the accordion and cussing out my own players. So can I put my own head back on?
Please.
Okay. If you were you, who would you start in this game?
Who would I start?
Who's the first 5 players on the floor for you, Carter Elliott, coaching Michigan State in this game?
AJ Hoggard, Tyson Walker, Jay Nakins, Colin Carr, Carson Cooper.
Coop. Okay. Can I answer as me?
Mm-hmm.
Same group, except I'm benching AJ and I'm putting Jeremy Fears in the game.
Not mad at that.
It's only a 3-minute stint. He's coming right out after, but this is like a message benching to AJ and Malik and Madi.
So my same group, but okay. My apologies. I took that as you're saying the same starting group as last game, but you're just taking AJ out.
No, I would do it this way. And this is kind of back to me pretending I'm Izzo too. I would do it this way. I would send the message that he's been threatening to send in front of a microphone 1,000 times this week. I would send the message by not starting those three guys. The vets that he's upset with are AJ Hoggard, Madi Sissoko, and Malik Hall. Obviously, you're not going to bench Tyson, especially when he's hurt, right? So bench those three guys. Insert Carson Cooper because he's closer to playing than Xavier Booker is. Insert Cohen Carr because he's been great. Insert Jeremy Fears because I like him more than Trey Holloman. If Izzo does this, he'll do Trey Holloman and not Fears. But if it were me, I would do Jeremy Fears. And the message is just starting. That's it. I think after the first 4 minutes of this game, those three check in. They probably play harder than they did in the first game. And then the rest of the game, you play the normal rotations you've been doing. You don't mess anything up until garbage time. But get Hall, Hoggard still their 28 minutes in this game. Just have them do it off the bench and send the message that way. That's what I would do.
Wouldn't be mad at that. What do you think the percentage chances that he does that?
I think there's a non-zero chance. I do. I think this is like, I mean, my brain's wired so different than him. I'm probably way off base. But I think there's like a 33% chance this is the end result.
I like that number.
That was straight out of the GregWaddell coaching bag, by the way. Whenever I had someone like mess up something in school when I was coaching JV basketball, it was like, oh yeah, like I'm on your ass. You're coming out. Like you wait for this punishment. And then with 6 minutes left in the first quarter, he was back in playing the full rest of the game.
I love that.
It works.
Love that mentality.
People love to start, man. Basketball players love to start basketball games. Is that everything with you?
Yeah, starting was a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, like my freshman year, I played more minutes than the starting center, but the fact that like he got to start over me had me livid.
Yeah. I don't know what the psychology is of that, but like I think there are players out there who would like to play less minutes if it meant they were starting, for real.
I think we might have to like raise a poll on Sleeper's Twitter about that. I'd be interested to see the results.
It could be fun. Okay, final topic tonight.